Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 live on Channels Television, Lagos. A quick reminder of our top stories now. The Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed, says that the federal cabinet remains intact. President Muhammadu Buhari to hold valedictory session May 22nd. Federal government approves 52 billion naira to acquire modern facility to monitor the nation's 86 border posts. Senate summons Inspector General of Police Muhammad Adamu to explain the killings and banditry in the country. And Sudan's top 3 generals in the Transitional Military Council resign. ChannelsTV.com has more information for you, and on YouTube.com/channelsweb you can watch our videos. You can also watch us on your mobile device via your browser or download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS devices from their respective stores. Besides giving you access to news and updates on the go, the Channels TV and Channels 24 app have an eyewitness feature that you can use to share those pictures, videos, or news of happenings around you. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the menu and follow the instructions. The Air Task Force of Operation Lavia Dole today raided some hideouts of members of the Boko Haram insurgents at the Sambisa Forest in Borno State. The Director, Air Force Information and Public Relations, Air Commodore Ibukunle Daramola, in a press release says that the operation was conducted last night after a Nigerian Air Force intelligence surveillance and reconnaissance platform on a routine mission observed significant activities as well as some serviceable vehicles hidden under some trees. He says that an Alpha jet was deployed to attack the location, forcing some of the terrorists to flee the location. They were, however, taken out by the Alpha jet's successful strikes, which also caused the destruction of 2 vehicles and other equipment at the workshop. Protesting members of the Islamic movement in Nigeria, IMN, have taken their demonstrations to the United Nations office in Abuja. The protesters want the UN to urge President Muhammadu Buhari to release their leader, Sheikh El-Zakzaky, who is standing trial alongside his wife over allegations of culpable homicide, unlawful assembly, and disruption of public peace, among others. They also accuse the government of mass killings and burial of their members. This is the 3rd time this week that the IMN will be holding public protests after they attempted to storm the National Assembly just yesterday, while on Monday they held a street protest in Abuja.
This is now a familiar sight in the Federal Capital Territory. Members of the Islamic Movement of Nigeria, IMN, for the 3rd day running, protest the continued detention of their leader, Sheikh Ibrahim El-Zakzaky. This time, they take their protest to the United Nations office in Abuja. They accuse the government of crimes against humanity.
The responsibility of United Nations is providing peace and security to all nations that belong to it. But in this case, we have somebody at the seat of the presidency here in Nigeria who committed crime against humanity. And the United Nations is keeping mute to some extent over this issue.
They are received by the Deputy Security Advisor of the United Nations mission to Nigeria.
As most of you are aware, and I'm sure you are all aware, the United Nations works with governments. So we will pass on your grievances to the government. So your response, even though part of it will come from the United Nations, it will mostly come from the government of Nigeria.
Sheikh El-Zakzaky was arrested by the military on December 14, 2015, after a clash between the movement and officers of the Nigerian army. He is standing trial in a high court in Kaduna State, along with his wife, over allegations of culpable homicide, unlawful assembly, and disruption of public peace, among others. On the 25th of March, the trial was adjourned indefinitely, following the appointment of the judge, Justice Gideon Kurada, to serve as the judge in the Presidential and National Assembly Elections Petitions Tribunal in Yobe State. The protesters, who are also celebrating the 68th birthday of Sheikh El-Zakzaky, insist on remaining in the Federal Capital Territory until he is released. Terry Ikumi, Channels Television News.
The Accident Investigation Bureau has released 6 final accident reports, including that of the crash that involved the late Taraba State Governor, Damba Basantai. The Bureau says that the late governor was not competent to fly the ill-fated Cessna 208B that crashed on October the 25th, 2012. At the briefing in Lagos, AIB Chief Executive Officer disclosed that the decision of the pilot to operate a visual flight rating after sunset contributed to the accident, which involved 4 persons on board.
The Bureau could not conclusively determine the cause of this accident. However, the investigation identified the following factors. The pilot was not certified, qualified, and not competent to fly the aircraft. The decision of the pilot to operate a VFR flight after sunset. Inadequate oversight by the regulatory authority. 2 safety recommendations were made. NAMA should take appropriate action to relocate the existing control tower at Yola Airport in order to enhance the area view of the approach path of runway 35 from the tower.
We have more stories for you. Let's go quickly to our Abuja studios where Linda Kigwe is standing by to take us through. Linda?
Hello, Gimba. Here in Abuja, we begin with legal issues. The Court of Appeals sitting in Abuja has adjourned hearing in the case filed by Senator Ademola Adeleke following an FCT High Court judgment which ruled that he was not eligible to contest the September 22nd, 2018 governorship election in Osun State. The adjournment follows a request by the council to Senator Adeleke Nathaniel Oke to allow for amendments and corrections to the court processes, as observed by Mr. Bankole Komolafe, counsel to Rahim and Habib, who are parties to the suit, after he drew the attention of the court to 4 missing vital pages on the notice of appeal served on him. On the request for abridgment of time for the respondents to file their brief of argument, the presiding judge, Justice Stephen Ada, declined an oral request by the appellant, insisting on a written application. Senator Adeleke, who was last month declared winner of the election by the Election Petition Tribunal, wants the appellate court to set aside the judgment of the FCT High Court, which disqualified him on grounds of educational qualification. The trial court's findings show that Senator Adeleke was admitted into Ede Muslim High School, Ede, Osun State, in 1976, but no record to show that he graduated. The court also found that the results Senator Adeleke attached to INEX form CF001 contradicted the one presented to the court by the principal of Ede Muslim High School, where he claimed to have graduated. Meanwhile, the People's Democratic Party is alleging that the ruling All Progressives Congress is desperately plotting to stop Senator Adeleke from retrieving his mandate. The party claims that part of the plot is to frame and arrest the principal of his school, Ede Muslim High School, Ede, Mr. Kadili Adejare, on alleged trumped-up charges that Senator Adeleke's school testimonial was forged. The party is, however, asking the Acting Inspector General of Police to call his men to order on issues related to Senator Adeleke's determination to retrieve his governorship mandate. The Court of Appeals sitting in Lagos has upheld the dismissal of a no-case submission filed by a former governor of Abia State, Orji Uzor Kalu, in response to the 7.65 billion naira fraud charge filed against him by the EFCC. In a lead judgment by Justice Mohammed Garba, the Court of Appeal agreed that Justice Mohammed Idris, then of the Federal High Court in Lagos, was right to have on July 31st, 2018, dismissed Kalu's no-case submission. The appellate court also dismissed the appeals filed by Kalu's co-defendants, Slok Nigeria Limited and Udeodogu, challenging the jurisdiction of Justice Idris to continue hearing the case after he was elevated from the Federal High Court to the Court of Appeal. Justice Garba therefore ordered the defendants to return to the High Court to put in their defense. Last year, the EFCC had closed its case in the 12-year trial of the defendants after calling 19 witnesses. But rather than put in their defense, Kalu and his co-defendants filed no-case submissions. Before Justice Idris could hear and rule on the no-case submission, he was elevated to the Court of Appeal. Away from legal issues, Nigeria joins the rest of the world to commemorate World Malaria Day, set aside by the United Nations to recognize global efforts towards the control of a disease. This day is also to mobilize the public on necessary actions to take on malaria prevention and treatment. In commemorating the day, Mocha Nigeria Limited unveiled a new range of repellents that offer protection to families against mosquitoes and bugs.
In a recent report by the World Health Organization, Africa continues to bear the brunt of the effect of malaria, with Nigeria being the most affected country in sub-Saharan Africa. In spite of efforts by government and organizations, the report calls for an increased global response towards tackling the disease.
Very big in
Like other concerned profit-making organizations across the world, Mocha Foam is not only holding a media sensitization, the company is also introducing newly developed repellents to fight mosquitoes and bugs for households. This includes the Mocha Mosi mattress spray, the soak and dry, as well as fabric and textile spray.
We thought it was entirely appropriate that we should come up with an environmentally eco-friendly product that repels mosquitoes in a safe and easy-to-use way. Where we are with the Mocha Mosi range of products, it's just the start of a journey. For us, it's important because it'll be part of our company culture and part of our company values going forward to continue to invest in the research and development of malarial or mosquito repellent products here in Nigeria.
This gesture is commended by the Lagos State government and the Nigerian Medical Association.
We are actually confident that this will play a major role if properly disseminated, if people get to know about it in preventing malaria. So I think Mocha has to be commended for this initiative, and we hope that other companies too can come up and go along the line that they are doing. It's a proudly Nigerian product, and we are really in support of it.
If we just concentrate on the government without realizing that we also as individuals have our parts to play, it will not make much difference. But if everybody adds on, what the government is doing will just be like an add-on to what it is that you are doing. And at the end of the day, a difference is going to be seen and made.
Malaria is believed to be one of the deadliest diseases in the world, but with increased funding for scaling up preventive interventions and well-coordinated national capacities, the World Health Organization believes that it is possible to reduce malaria deaths and disease by at least 40% by 2020.
In part two, after the break, Access Bank holds 30th annual general meeting, first after the merger with Diamond Bank. Please stay with us.